Khanzaa in Arabic means I see animal fowl. So then I ask how can another brother and sister eat swine when it's 99.9% poison and filthy? But yet and still you choose to eat something that's not healthy?
Trimmings, pieces of meat left over from cutting steaks or pork chops. The trimmings are ground the same way butchers chop up hamburger meat, by pushing the cuts through grated metal plates. Processed chicken trimmings are added to the ground meat, followed by food starch, salt, and other flavorings. These flavorings vary depending on where the hot dogs are to be sold, because people in different regions have different tastes. Water is sprayed into the mix, and everything is blended together in a big vat.
Off a rat trap, and I just threw it in there just to see what they would do. They're pigs. They rolled in it and they ate it and fought over this nasty with maggots in it. And I just threw it in there. I figured, they'll just smell it just because it's an experiment. Remember, pigs, if you're eating pig, guys, I can just tell you this. You're making a big mistake. Remember, the pig is the dirtiest animal in the world. It'll eat anything and anything. Remember, a cow only eats grass. Okay? It doesn't eat corn or anything or wheat or soy, but it's a vegetarian. You eat animals, okay, that are scrappers, then you get all the parasites that live in the pig. Remember, the pig tapeworm is bad arse tapeworm. And maybe we'll go ahead and put a picture in this, in the video here. The pig tapeworm, if you had pig, and maybe not, it doesn't matter. If you've got an egg and they secrete out 200,000 to 300,000 eggs a day, and the pig tapeworm has to go through 5 different cycles in your body. It starts in your stomach, it goes and bores out into the small intestine to the liver, it goes to the liver, makes a house of babies, and then it goes back into the bloodstream, and goes to your brain.
Hey, this is a pig, I'm in a dog. That's how we eat pork. You know what I mean? And this one I've specially designed to go on Facebook.
Tonight, when it comes to meat, the USDA seal is required to prove that the meat has been inspected by a federal agency.
But what many consumers may not know is that some meat has actually been treated with carbon monoxide gas in order to keep it looking fresh for weeks. Kitty Pilgrim has more.
Red, fresh meat, or is it? Congressional hearings pointed to the pitfalls of treating meat with carbon monoxide.
Treating meat with carbon monoxide allows the meat to keep its freshly ground red color, even though the meat may have spoiled. I have a picture on the screen. There's 2 packages of ground meat that were left out at room temperature for 27 hours. You can see the one which was treated with carbon monoxide looks fresh and red, while the other meat has turned brown and quite nasty looking.
Congressman Stupak and Congressman Ed Markey have introduced legislation that would require meat treated with carbon monoxide to be labeled so the consumer would know. According to the
nearly 200 pork samples tested by Consumer Reports, many tested positive for salmonella, listeria, staph bacteria. The magazine says a whopping 69% contained Yersinia, which infects nearly 100,000 Americans every year. Children are especially vulnerable.
You always expect to find some bacteria in any meat product, but those are usually harmless, and I think the real surprise here was to find so many potentially disease-causing bacteria.
Even more, 90% of the bacteria Consumer Reports found were said to be resistant to antibiotics. In other words, they were superbugs.
All of those things paint a very concerning picture about this indiscriminate use of antibiotics in meat production in this country and what we believe are the resulting consequences of that.
Consumer Reports was also alarmed by traces of ractopamine in 1/5 of the pork they tested. Farmers use